What is that foul stench? Oh yes, it's Artemis Fowl.
What is up, Flick fans? Welcome back to my channel. Every weekend I talk the brand new movie or show on whatever streaming service is dropping content. This weekend, we have a lot to talk about, but first up is Artemis Fowl. I need you in the comment section down below. Were you looking forward to this movie? Did you read the books? Okay. Artemis Fowl, a young criminal prodigy, hunts down a secret society of fairies to find his missing father. So this movie stars Ferdius Shaw as Artemis Fowl. He's the title character. It's his first role ever, so that's impressive. Josh Gad, Colin Farrell, and directed by Kenneth Branagh, aka the director of Thor and Cinderella, and I like his style somewhat. Sometimes he overdoes it with the interesting camera angles, but he always brings a flair to his movies, even if I don't always love his films, if that makes sense. But I like him as a director quite a bit, so I was excited to see what he would do. Disney obviously loves him. They continue to bring him back, and this is a world, this is lore, this is a story that a lot of people were excited to see. I didn't read the books growing up, so I don't have that attachment, but I know there are some massive fans of those books, and this is a prime story to bring to life on the big screen. So why in the world is it so bad? How is this bad? Now, I wasn't assuming it would be the worst movie ever, even though they put it on Disney+, and they haven't been doing that with their films. This is one of those movies that they said, hey, we're gonna not put in theaters, so that made me a bit worried. The shuffling of release dates, the fact that the trailer wasn't all that good. So I thought in my head before going in, I said, this is either going to be terrible, or it could be a nice surprise. Now, I think the first comparison is going to be the modern Disney live-action remakes. We're talking Lion Kings, the Aladdins of the world, and the fact that some of those movies have come out and underwhelmed. They've not been the best, and some of them just weren't very good at all, especially when you start getting into the Maleficents of the world and the fact that they continue to give us sequels to those movies and they just don't deliver. I don't even want to hear that comparison. This is on a whole nother level. When people tell me that Disney live-action remakes are bad, I'm going to look at them and say, if you think that's bad, take a look at Artemis Fowl. And I don't mean to be that way. I don't love being this harsh on a film, but what in the world did I just watch? I know the books are so much better than this, and I've not even read them. If they are on this level of quality, then what has everyone been hyping up for so long finally getting this adaptation? This does injustice to all of these characters. The amount of exposition, first of all, the entire film is being narrated by Josh Gad, but not Josh Gad with his Josh Gad voice. You know, we like Josh Gad's voice sometimes. Olaf, cute character, but for some reason, he's doing a Batman voice. Okay, it's not to that level, but it's deep to a ridiculous degree, as is Judi Dench's voice. She switches up her voice. By the way, Judi Dench, who was in Cats and now this, whoever your agent is, listen, I'm sure they got you to this point, but it's time to let them go. Times are changing. You need a new agent. Maybe she's just saying, listen, I'm going to do some stuff for the kids, but you're picking the wrong movies, and Cats is not for kids. But anyway, Gad plays his character of Mulch Diggums, who narrates the entire film and tells us everything that they could have shown us, which would have been way more interesting at the beginning of the movie. Listen, Artemis Fowl, he's a genius. He's doing things that other kids aren't doing. You're supposed to feel this way about him, but you don't, because they don't flesh him out as the movie progresses. They tell us everything we need to know at the beginning, and then his character and the acting somewhat, and I hate to be this way, but it's true. The poor kid, and maybe it's just a lack of direction on Branagh's behalf, but oh my goodness, some of the line delivery here and the fact that everything is just so stale coming from his character. I'm Artemis Fowl, and I'm a criminal mastermind. First of all, that is an actual line of dialogue. Second of all, the delivery. So it's both aspects of the character. It's you don't care about the character, and then the performance really isn't doing it justice. So the lead character, the reason you're watching this movie, Artemis Fowl, Jr., not Senior, that's Colin Farrell, who's actually pretty good, but it doesn't make up for the rest of the film. You just don't care. And then the story progression, it is so cliche. And I see something interesting within. It's like, oh, you have this world of fairies and magical creatures, and we're stopping time and all of these different devices, and the MacGuffin, the thing that everyone's after, the rabbit's foot, if you will. And we get that in good movies, right? They're always, well, most of the time, there has to be something that the characters are trying to get or trying to achieve. If it is an action, adventure, fantasy-esque movie, but this was way too on the nose, and you never really figured out what the reasoning behind this object being so important was. Now, the mission of the movie is to get Artemis Fowl Sr. back because something happens to him at the beginning, and I found that to be interesting within the first 5 minutes, but they make friends along the way, and there are elements to the story that just go off on a tangent, if you will. I know people who sometimes when they tell a story, there's a point that you could get to within 30 seconds, but they stretch the story out for 2 to 3 minutes telling me things that I don't think are important at the end of the day, and it just takes them forever to get to the point. And that's what Artemis Fowl felt like, but it's only an hour and 30 minutes. The movie is stretched out to this degree, to this level, and it's only 90 minutes. You could have cut half of this movie, but that's not long enough to make a movie. That's telling me something, that this script wasn't right to go into production. There needed to be more interesting elements, because what we got was a lot of stuff that I didn't care about, and then 20, 30 minutes of, oh, that's important to the plot, but I'm still not interested. Austin, you're not the target audience. I understand that. But even kids, I look at my 10-year-old cousin. Would he be interested in this movie? And I don't even think he would. I don't think this is enough to capture his attention. I think he has seen this countless times, and these characters are just so dull, he would be uninterested in trying to find something else. And maybe I'm wrong. I would love to know if your kids, your young kids, enjoyed this movie. And to a degree they will, but would you rather show them this, or would you rather show them insert any other fantasy movie for kids here? I heard a Spy Kids comparison in another review, and to a degree I get that, especially when you get into that third movie, but I'm like, the Spy Kids are like up there, and this movie like down here. So at the end of the day, oh my goodness, a few redeeming things here and there when you look at the CGI, and just the look of the movie is pretty solid. Branagh has a stylistic sense, like I said, and that brings life to a few moments, but not enough to make this movie watchable at only 90 minutes. So I need your comments down below. Did you enjoy this film? It's on Disney Plus right now. As for my score, 18%. 18%. There's a few things, like I said, just not enough. I did not like Artemis Fowl whatsoever.
It's a foul stench coming from
this. I'm done with that. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Next up, Da 5 Bloods on Netflix, and then The King of Staten Island, plus plenty of series reviews this weekend. You guys are the best. Smash that thumbs up button if you liked my meanness.